Handling flammable refrigerants. Many of the refrigerants traditionally used in refrigeration and air conditioning systems have been non-flammable and non-toxic but have a high global warming potential, that is GWP. Due to growing national and international concern, the use of alternative low GWP refrigerants is increasing. Most of these low GWP alternative refrigerants are flammable. It is thus necessary to understand the safe use of flammable refrigerants. Let's look at the tools and equipment required. We need a vacuum pump, thermocouple vacuum gauge, refrigerant leak detector, hand tools, tube cutter, tube flaring tool, tube bender, torque wrench, reamer for deburring, nitrogen cylinder regulator, measuring tape, gauge manifold, charging lines, digital clamp meter, digital thermometer, nitrogen cylinder with regulator, evacuation and charging unit, recovery machine, recovery cylinder, long hose for venting refrigerants to a safe area, and a fire extinguisher. Let's look at the step-by-step procedure to service a split-type air conditioning system with flammable refrigerant. These include safety measures, safe venting of refrigerant, removal of leftover refrigerant by vacuum pump, repair or replace inoperative parts, cleaning and flushing, connecting of tubes, leak testing and pressure holding, evacuation and vacuum holding, charging refrigerant, closing valves, checking for proper operation. Ensure that there is no source of ignition near the work area. Ensure that the place is well ventilated and suitable fire extinguishers are available. Start the system and run it for 5 minutes to warm up the compressor. This will release the refrigerant mixed with the compressor oil. Let's release the refrigerant to a safe outside area. Connect a long hose to the service valve of the outdoor unit and leave the other end of the tube in a safe open area. Open the valve and release the refrigerant. When the pressure in the system drops to about 0 psig, close the service valve. In order to eliminate the risk of flash fire, it is necessary to remove the leftover refrigerant from the system with a vacuum pump. Ensure that the discharge of the vacuum pump is not released into the work area. Induce a vacuum by filling nitrogen into the system. Next, open the refrigeration system and conduct the necessary repairs or replacement of parts. Flush the system with oxygen-free dry nitrogen at a pressure of about 150 psig. Nitrogen is passed from one end of the tube and let out from the other end for cleaning. After flushing, reconnect the lines properly. Use a torque wrench to tighten the nuts. Do not over-tighten the flare nuts. Now let's perform leak testing. Fill the system with oxygen-free dry nitrogen to a pressure of 150 psig. Then close the valve on the gauge manifold. Apply soap solution to the joints, connection and fittings and check for any leaks. Wait for about 15 minutes and check for any drop in pressure. If there is no drop in pressure, then the system is ready for evacuation. Loosen the charging line connected on the service valve and release the nitrogen. Connect the system to an evacuation and charging unit using a 4-way gauge manifold and a digital micron gauge. Start the vacuum pump and ensure that the blank off pressure is below 100 microns. Open the valve and start evacuating the system. Evacuate the system to 500 microns or below. Once the desired vacuum is achieved, disconnect pump and check vacuum holding. The reading on micron gauge should not rise above 1500 microns after 5 minutes. Now the system is ready for charging with refrigerant. Connect the refrigerant cylinder to the manifold and purge the hose with refrigerant. Place it on a weighing scale and note down the initial weight. Open the valve on the manifold and charge the system with specified quantity of refrigerant using a digital weighing scale. Charging should be done slowly and gradually. Wait for a while for the refrigerant pressure to equalize in the system. Switch on the air conditioner and run it for 20 minutes and then check the pressure. Measure the current drawn by the air conditioner. Close the valve and fasten the lock nuts properly. Apply soap solution and do a final leak test. Let's adopt these good servicing practices to help and save the environment, since handling flammable refrigerant and its awareness is very important.